Okay, now, this pose, next pose you're going to do is an alternative to Paryankasan.
那么下一个体式呢，才是和那个 Paryankasan 相对而言 alternative， 是一个代替性的一个体式。
Paryankasan is it's an advanced pose. It's not for beginners.
因为 Paryankasan 呢，确实是一个蛮高级的体式，所以不大适宜初学者来进行。
It takes practice. It takes thinking about.
需要习练才能获得。
So how are we going to get the same effect in the upper chest?
那么如何能够获得对于上胸腔同样的一个影响呢？
There's something else here we're going to do. So let's get a belt. And you're going to sit facing that way, Dawn. All right. And then you're going to bring your legs into Baddha Konasana. Bound angle pose. So she brought the feet together, and then she lifted her pelvis and slid her pelvis towards her feet, which is a more economical way of doing it rather than just pulling the ankles in. So we're going to hold the legs securely so she doesn't have to think about those. So over the head, over the shoulders, and around the feet. And then the belt not in the waist, but down. She's sliding the buckle so that it's not disappearing behind her. And neither is the buckle pressing into her thigh or pressing into her ankle. And then she's going to sit in her Baddha Konasana, and in such a way that the pelvis is aligned front and back.
那么也就是说，这个 Baddha Konasana 我们希望做到骨盆的前侧和后侧呢是一个对齐的或者是平行的一种状态。
The challenge, of course, is what tends to happen in Baddha Konasana. Now she's lifting now.
那现在她那根提起来了，但是 Baddha Konasana 确实一个挑战的。
You have to really lift in order to get the front and the back of the pelvis parallel with each other.
那么骶骨那个位置一定要真的有力的用力努力的提起来，这样你的骨盆前侧后侧才是平行的状态。
And now what you're seeing, she's getting this pose moving from the base.
那我们现在才看到这个整个体式这个移动呢，是从这里根基这里开始的。
That's a lot of fiery element in the spine.
那么这样的话，这个脊柱里边它就获得很多的充足的这个火元素。
Fire element has to be very strong in the spine to get the upright position from the base.
脊柱当中要充足的火元素，这个上提的力才能获得，能做出来。当然从根基这里开始的。
And that also prepares you to go over this block again.
然后当然这又会准备你能够躺下来，躺到这个砖上。
So this pose, it's not called Paryankasan because the legs are not in Virasana.
那么这个体式呢，因为腿不在处在 Virasana 当中，所以我们不能管它叫 Paryankasana 了。
But she's going to curve over that block, and let's make sure that's in the right place. It's too low, right? It has to be right behind the breastbone's quite a long bone. You can't miss it. How's that? And then she can put her head there. And she's getting her head, the head, you're looking for the crown of the head, that headstand place. So let's move it under you, that's it. So you can see if you, from this profile view, the opening, that this is really expanding the ribs to their greatest. It's a vertical extension, it's a horizontal
所以
opening.
它既有这个纵向的这种伸展，又有水平的展宽。
Breast tissue and the lungs also are slightly flattened because they're over that block.
那么这个乳房的组织和两肺呢，因为后方砖的缘故，它有一个平的这种状态。
Then, as we did the last time, she can take her arms over,
跟刚刚一样，手臂可以伸展，
hold onto
抓老师
my legs, and then I'll just move back.
然后呢，老师呢就只要往后。
If she holds on tight,
然後他要抓緊啦。
go a little further down with your arms.
手再抓得
There.
低一點。
Okay. And so I'm looking at her elbows,
所以我看他的肘。
and I don't want to drag her off that. She's going to keep her sit bones pressing
但是
down,
坐骨呢要沉下去，要保持下沉。
and that's just giving her a very good extension through the armpit tissue.
所以这样的话，通过这个腋窝这个组织这边获得了一个非常充分的伸展。
The lymph system, it has channels through which it's like another circulatory system, the lymph system.
那么这个淋巴系统呢，就好像是另外一个循环系统一样。
Instead of having blood flowing through these channels, it has a clear fluid called lymph fluid.
那么只不过是这个通过淋巴管的这个液体呢，它不是血液，它是淋巴液，它是非常清澈的这种液体。
It also has these things called lymph nodes,
那么这个淋巴管当中还有那些个小结，这个淋巴结这样的结构。
which, when I look at pictures of lymph nodes, they look like little coffee beans.
那么如果你看那个图片的话呢，这淋巴结的模样很像那个小咖啡豆。
They're scattered around the body,
然后它整个是遍布周身的这种分布，
but they're mostly congregated under the collarbones,
但是它们比较集中的位置在锁骨的下方这个位置，
around the sides of the lungs and breasts,
然后两肺的这个侧面，
and in the armpits.
还有腋窝区域。
So these poses are allowing for a clear, and their job, they act as filters, they filter out toxins.
那么这些淋巴结的功能呢，就是这个排毒的这么一个，它是相当于是过滤器，它能够过滤这些毒素。
So you can see how this is allowing for a free flow of lymph fluid going through those nodes.
一看到这个淋巴液呢，就可以如何在这体育当中获得一个非常自由顺畅的这个流动，就经过这些淋巴结。
To keep the shoulders and the arms aligned correctly in the shoulders she would be turning in.
那么这个大臂的内旋呢，仍然是保证手臂和肩关节的这个正位关系。
And it will help her if there's a movement, the deltoid, this thick muscle just connects,
那么这个三角肌
resists.
这个三角肌保持和后方的这个上背部这里连接，那么就会更加有帮助。
Do you want to take a break? Come up
休息会儿
for a second. Just come up. Oh, are you all right? Okay. I'm going to put the chair behind you. Do you want to stretch your legs out, or you're okay there? Okay. All right. So here's the chair again. So she's still going over that, and she's still going to have the head on here, but she's going to reach back. Let's see which is the best way round to have that. We'll see if this works. All right, so curve back again.
再向后。
If the block is tipping,
如果你的砖是倾斜的，
it's interesting.
这事儿还挺有意思。
If the block is tipping that way,
如果这个砖它向后方仰的这样一个角度，
you're heavy on this part, heavy.
那你前边这个区域呢就会很沉。
If it's tipping that way,
如果它向后仰呢，
the weight is heavier here.
那么这个重量更多在这边。
So if the block is moving, it will tell you
所以这个砖的动作呀，这个移动，它会告诉你
where you need to adjust
你需要调哪儿，
to be able to really pick up and coil around
这样
that
才能
block.
真的让自己起
And
来，
your
然
block
后
is straight, Dawn.
这
You're
样
just.
跨越那个砖。你现在砖还是端正。
Dawn likes to go to the right.
主要你喜欢往右。
She likes to curve. It's like a little spiral. Okay. Now, reach your arms back and reach for the chair.
够那个椅子。
So, that's another way of getting the extension through the armpits.
所以这又是另外一种方式，仍然是要获得这个腋窝区域的这种伸展。
She's hell-bent. Maybe this is on it going in the wrong direction. She likes to go to the right. That probably feels weird, but that's... And then you can walk your hands up. Can you reach higher? Take the arms higher. There. And elbows firm. Okay. All right, so come on up from there. And press your hands down and sit up. And we'll take that out, okay? Then Adho Mukha Svanasana. To neutralize.
Adho Mukha Svanasana 让自己再回到那个中立的状态当中。
And to let the brain rest.
让大脑也休息一下。
She's going to, every time she does her pose, this is better on this side. She rolls from the outer hand to the inner hand.
手从外缘这样压到内缘。
And she goes straight up.
然后直着向上。
Rather than pushing this, which is easy. That's there.
推上面那个太轻松了。
That way. So, because this is coming out, and this is going in. It's very, I mean, obviously these are very subtle movements we're talking about.
这些力呢就非常的细微了。
And come down and rest Adho Mukha Svanasana, Adho Mukha Virasana.
Just
cool down.
这样清凉下来。
This is a cooling down variation. We had the blocks earlier.
我们之前呢拿砖做来的，那么这个版本实际上是有清凉的作用。
But this is like a quiet
这个是比较
version, whereas the other was waking us up and getting ready.
这个是一个让我们安静下来的版本。拿砖的话呢，是能够唤醒你，让你做好接下来习练的准备。
And then come on up
起身。
and stand up. All right. Now we're going to put Shirsasana in here.
那么现在我们加入Shirsasana。
The inverted. This is another section simply called
那么
inversions.
接下来这一部分练习呢，就是倒立部分。
Inversions are help to maintain the health and the balance of the endocrine system.
那么倒立的练习呢，能够帮助我们保持内分泌系统的健康和平衡。
So they're very important for all of us.
所以它对于所有人而言都是非常重要的。
And the endocrine system is, again, to repeat, underpins our reproductive health.
那么内分泌系统呢，再重复一下，也是这个生殖系统健康的背后的一个力。
And our breasts are absolutely grounded and rooted in our reproductive system.
那么两乳呢，确实又是深深的在这个生殖系统当中。
You can't separate that.
根植于这个生殖系统当中，这个是不能分离的。
Estrogen goes up,
那么你的这个雌激素呢，就是向上。
breasts are listening,
然后你的这个乳房能够听着它。
goes down,
然后它沉下去的时候，
breasts are
这
listening,
乳房也在听着它。
goes up,
再起。
little in the second half. You know, there's this pattern,
所以你看它那个整个在1个月当中，它有这样的一个起伏。
and that is connected into breast health.
所以这个事情呢，是和乳房健康这个密切相关的。
So, Shirsasana is an advanced pose.
Shirsasana 应该说是一个高级的体式。
We don't teach it to beginners.
我们不会直接就教给初学者。
And you don't teach it to yourself.
然后这个也不要去自学。
You find an Iyengar teacher.
你得找到合格的艾内瑜伽老师。
Have them teach you.
然后让他们来教授你这个练习。
So let's put a little padding. We'll keep the mat flat, I think.
垫子就这样平着，然后
Oh, here we have another mat. Okay. Need a little softness for your Shirsasana.
实际上的头下还是要稍微有点这个一点点。
Okay. I think that might be enough for you, just enough thickness, because this is real thick.
这个厚度应该差不多
Yeah.
了，这个差不
I
多。
think that will do her. You want enough. You want some padding underneath you.
就是你头下需要足够的这个厚度。
Beginners usually do Shirsasana. Usually they start either with, actually, if possible, with the teacher holding them, so they come up and the teacher's making a wall.
然后，那么如果可能的话呢，确实初学者在学习这个体式的时候呢，老师可以站在旁边，然后给你这个当成一堵墙一样。
For convenience in a class,
那么在课堂当中，为了方便起见呢，
the students go up near the wall.
然后这学生才到墙边去做。
So here she's brought the webbing of the fingers, or she's closed the fingers into this interlock, and it's right into the webbing there.
所以他首先呢，要将这个手指呢扣到指根处，扣紧。
Elbows are under the shoulders.
然后两肘呢刚好在肩的正下方。
Then she'll bring the crown of her head inside the hands.
放到两手掌中间的位置。
So the hands the head is inside the hands.
所以这个头要进去才行。
So don't make it too tight a knot there. Head's got to go inside those
头得进
hands.
去，还得进去。
Okay. Then she'll lift her knees
然后膝盖离地，
and walk in and lift,
向前走，向上提，
walk in and lift.
向前走，向上提。
This is a great preparation.
这是一个非常好的准备。
As she walks in, she's going to
所以
bring
你向前走，它这里
her spine
脊柱
in
要收进去，脊柱要进去。
so that she doesn't rock back too. She needs to rock back a certain amount, otherwise she can't get up.
一点一点的，要不然它很难起的。
But she's going to keep moving the
但是
spine
要持
in.
续的将脊柱向里，
Then go up one leg at a time.
单腿起，先起一条，
Beginners will go up one leg at a time. Here's your wall. I've got
再
you.
来那条腿，
And then take the other one up.
起到这种体式，进入
And then hop up.
起。
Do you want to bend your knees to come up? Okay. You can bend your knees. She would have been happier maybe to bend her knees and go up.
它可能会屈膝起会轻松一点。
And when you get really strong, both legs together, that's somewhere down the line.
那么当你这个习练比较有力之后呢，可以双腿直着起。
This Shirsasana is directly stimulating the pituitary gland, which is in the head, one of the master glands in the head.
那么这个头倒立呢，可以直接作用到这个大脑当中的脑垂体。
And I'm not going to keep her up here for too long, but press the forearms
其
down
实我们就不在这里让你待很久，但是小臂要向下压，
and lift the shoulders up.
肩向上提，
And pressing the forearms down and lifting the shoulders
小臂向下压，肩向上提。
is probably the two most important things I could tell you about headstand.
很有可能，如果只说两点的话，那就这两点是头倒立当中很关键的两点。
I'm going to very gently correct
稍
her.
微纠正一下下。
Sometimes good to do this in a mirror, and then you can see
有
what
的
you're
时候自己
doing.
在镜子面前练也是一个很有帮助的一个事情，这样你能够看到自己
Okay.
位置。
And then bring your ankles forward and your thighs
脚
back.
踝向前一点，大腿向后。
This is my instruction. There we are.
好，
So she has to lift from here because she has this tendency of
所以
taking the
他这
thighs
个小腿
forward.
这边要向上，他现在这个大腿向外呢，还是比较有都是一个习惯。
Other people do different things.
那其他同学可能做的这个习惯都不大一样。
But Dawn has to bring her ankles forward. That's
小
it.
霞需要将脚踝向前，
And then find the wrist. Press the
找到
wrist
手
down.
腕向下压，
Push the wrist
弯
hard.
向下，有点力。
And now lift from the calves.
从小腿肌肉这里向上提，
Lift the shoulders.
肩向上提，
Pull the inner upper arms up.
大臂的内侧向上，
Navel in.
肚脐向里。
And she's all right. She's still in the land of the living. It's good here. Inner thighs back, inner knees
内
back.
侧膝盖内侧向后，
All right. And now you're going to come down one leg at a time.
单腿下。
Oh, yeah. All right. And then she's going to rest in Adho Mukha Virasana. So that was plenty long enough for this student at this moment.
所以此时呢，其实对他来讲，这个已经时长还是比较足够了。
She didn't stay long, but because we were all watching her and I was there, she was working very hard.
那么他虽然总体时间不长，但是因为大家看着他，所以他确实在这里边已经很努力了。
There was a little shakiness.
然后出现了一点这个不大稳定的状态。
So no point hanging around upside down if you're shaking.
如果你开始抖动的话呢，没有必要在里边待着。
Okay. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, just because. It's an American phrase, just because.
And then?
Just because. All right. Yeah, just because. This is also neutralizing if the head is and the neck might be compressed because of headstand, so now she's got some traction.
那么如果这个头倒立当中呢，头这个颈部这里呢，有一点这个挤压感，那么这个下犬式呢就能够把这个事情
And she releases.
牵引，然后你能够把它释放。
And then come on up from there. Okay. Now, the other inversion is we're going to prepare for Sarvangasana, which is shoulder stand. I'm going to ask Dawn to do Chatuspadasana.
我们先做一下 Chatuspadasana。
So we'll get rid of this one. You could keep that and put it on top of there
可以搁上的。
because it's kind of thick, which is nice. All right. And it's clean. We've been walking on it. Okay. And so Chatuspadasana, it's like a fancy word for it's a variation of Setu Bandha, basically.
Chatuspadasana 可以说是应该是 Satuvanda 的一个准备阶段，然后他给它起了一个蛮好听的名字，叫 Chatuspadasana。
So hold on to your ankles. Walk your hands towards your ankles. That's in. And then she's going to lift her hips first. Lift the hips, peel the hips up, and then pull the ankles, pull the knees towards you. And pull the chest, lift the chest up. And this is really energizing. Now, move your breastbone closer to your chin. Go on, stamp the heels. And then come down. Come down. Okay. All right, now we're going to do it again. So she'll hold her ankles again. And lift the pelvis. And then roll the whole pose towards the head. And now can you find that the connection, it's an important connection between the heels and the tailbone. Tailbone won't lift if the heels don't press down. So push your heels down and lift the tailbone to the ceiling. Any amount. And come down. And I'm going to ask her to do it once more. That's 3. Auspicious number. All right, so last one. Up you come. Pull up. And I'll give her a little help this time. She's just lucky. She's got a little help. So there. She'll press the inner edges of the feet down. Extend the inner edges of the big toe forward. Extend those toes forward. That's the inner edge. Thank you, Ming. And take your knees to the left because you're going, that's it. And come down. And bend your knees over your chest. And roll to your side and come up. So she should be ready now for shoulder stand. Sarvangasana. So stack those up. And I think it's a good idea to put a blanket on, then you'll have your head on a blanket. and a bolster for a launch pad. Yeah. And now, wait a minute. I think if we put you head that way from the point of view of him. So put that up the other side. And I'm just making sure that she has something soft for her head. The floor is always a bit... And this will help her. She doesn't need it, but sometimes you need a little help rolling into the pose. This helps. So she's got her belt, so it's shoulder width apart. And then you'll sit on the bolster facing that way. Let's clear the decks. And she's feeling with her hands to see. She needs to be a couple of, what was that, meters? Centimeters. I'm still inches. Okay. And then, so she's got about this distance. You have to feel that. And then she'll press her hands as she's doing, pressing her hands into the bolster, and then rolling her knees up over her chest, and then feet down, and then slip the belt around the arms. And make sure that slide your shoulders back a little there. Because you need some of this support under the neck. So I'm going to move you. Move your feet that way. That's it. So right. And then she's rolling the arms out beautifully there. External rotation to take those shoulders underneath her. And we don't want this too tight. Okay. Then change the interlock of your hands. And then roll them, external rotation. Walk your feet towards your hips. Lift your sit bones. Get rid of the creases in your t-shirt. Move the back in. And now bring your hands onto your back. Just bend your knees for a minute. I'm going to put this under your feet because for while we're learning this pose, which she knows how to do it. But look at the lift that you get with the spine there. Her spine is now completely absorbed, which means no congestion around the breast area. So halasana with the feet on a chair is good news for this for the purposes of this sequence. Then she's going to take her legs up one at a time. And she'll pull her spine up. When you're learning these inversions, you would learn shoulder stand first. And when your shoulder stand is looking strong and stable, and you can hold it for 5 minutes at least, now you're ready with a teacher to learn Shirsasana. So we won't hold her for too long for this demonstration. But she's going to press the elbows down. And she's going to make sure that she's not leaning into the hands. Rather, the hands are leaning into the back. And then the legs, very much integral to the posture.
然后呢，这个腿呢需要，这个腿在体上是非常重要的部分。
Anytime you're upside down in an inverted
每
pose,
一次你在一个倒立的体式当中的时候，
you're going very much by your sense of touch in a lot of these poses.
在这些倒立体当中呢，我们很大程度要去这个依赖自己的触觉，
Observe the weight of your legs.
去观察这个腿的重量。
If they're light,
如果它们比较轻盈，
then you haven't quite activated
那
them.
么也就是说你的腿呀、没有特别的活跃起来，
So
没有特别的激活。
you're going to hold the thigh bones with the thigh muscles as if you're taking the muscles onto the bone.
那么你这个腿骨呢，大腿这个肌肉呢，要真正的去包裹住这个腿骨。
Muscles should not be falling away from the bone, they should be holding the bone.
这个肌肉不能够离开骨骼，它需要包裹着、拥抱着那个骨骼。
And then the inside of the muscle, where it touches the
这
thigh,
个肌肉的内壁呢，也就是贴着那个 touches the bone，
yeah,
就贴着这个骨骼的那一层肌肉的内壁，
is going to be moving, especially the front thigh,
尤其是
towards
前面的位
the
置
chest.
去向胸腔的这个方向。
In fact, the back of the thighs go up,
其实大
back
腿
of the
后
leg
侧
goes up.
腿的后侧是向上的。
Now, every so often we realize that we're sinking, so you're going to have to
然后我们时不时地发
grab
觉哦，我们又掉下去了。
grab your back with your left hand and grab your back with your right hand and lift
右
again.
手再调，然后再在背部上调整，再向上提起来。
Because every time we exhale, actually the spine, the back drops a little bit.
因为其实每一次我们的呼气啊，那个背部都会向下掉那么一点点。
So it's a constant readjusting has to go on to stop the spine from
所
dropping.
以为了避免脊柱真的掉下来，这就需要一个持续不间断的一个微调。
Shoulder stand has a direct impact on the thyroid gland in the
那
throat.
么肩倒立呢，它会对喉咙区的这个甲状腺有一个直接的影响，
Because the muscles in the neck are
因
stretched,
为颈部后侧肌肉的这种伸展，
because of the position of the head,
就因为头的这个姿势，
what that does is it stimulates the gland, the thyroid
那
gland.
么它这个就会刺激到这个甲状腺。
But yet at the same time it's interesting because the throat should be relaxed
那么同时又很有意思，就是喉咙呢，在这里应该是放松的状态，
and not hard.
喉咙不能紧。
And that combination
那
is
么这样两个组合呢，
ensuring that your thyroid operates on a healthy level.
那么就能够保证你的甲状腺是一个处在良好的运作状态当中的。
And here because she's inverted,
那么因为它属于倒置的状态中，
there is actually a fresh blood flow moving into the chest, moving into the breast
然
area.
后确实这个胸腔呢和这个乳房区域又能够获得这个新鲜的循环，
And that's good for the breasts.
那么这个自然对两乳就很有好处了。
And then bring your feet down,
好，脚落下来，
remove your belt,
再解开，
stretch your arms above your
可
head.
以伸展个头，
Can you hold the chair?
慢慢抓椅子。
All right, now you're going to get 2 for the price of 1 here.
现在你相当于是这个
You're going to bend your knees,
像增益一样了。
roll back in one direction, but keep pushing that away in the
然后
other.
你那个手呢
Push the chair away.
推手
Push the
推
chair.
着对了
Keep going.
继续
Keep going.
继续
Keep
继续
going.
继续
Roll down.
向下
Roll
转着向下
down.
转着，两边两个力，
So you'll get this double action.
这是双重的力在同时进行。
Okay. Then slide your torso back
然后把躯
just
干
to bring your shoulders off
向
the
这
edge.
边，然后把肩落在那个地面。哎
Not too far.
太远了，就一点点。
It's a little narrow Setu
刚
Bandha.
刚好，这是一个
Arms out to the side.
手臂在两边。
You can cross your legs, or you can just let them rest over that bolster. Whatever feels nice.
伸直也好，还是盘腿也好，都可以你自己去
And she knows that this is a resting pose. Throat has to stay soft, and we have to get used to this, what that feels like, a soft throat.
那么这个喉咙这里，它是一个休息的体式，所以喉咙需要熟悉这个状态，它是一个让你安静下来、柔软的体式。
That means no unspoken words bubbling up to the
这
surface.
就意味着喉咙区呀，没有那个无声的语言在进行。
And brain is quiet.
大脑就是安静的。
She's changed the cross, that's good.
它换了一下盘腿的方向，很好。
This is it's a narrow, you could say it was a narrow Setu Bandha. Very narrow because the height is only that much.
这是一个很小程度的一个
I'm
四十班的，可以这么说吧，因为那个高度嘛，
Yeah.
低。
Then you're going to slide back even more. Where's the other mat? Oh, it's under there. Okay. Slide back
然后
and cross your legs. Put the pelvis, thank you. Place the pelvis on the floor
然后再滑动向后，把骨盆
and then cross your legs and rest them on the bolster.
骨盆落平，然后盘腿。
She's probably gone out of shot, I don't know, but just let go there.
放松下来。
Okay, now, I have a good idea. I want you to actually come back onto this setup. So turn to your side, and you're going to lie down flat on your mat now for Shavasana. So we can fold that and put it under her head. I'll do it. I got it. Yeah. To absorb your practice,
去
to make sure
吸收一下这个习练的，
make sure the nerves remain quiet.
确保你的神经呢安静。
Shavasana, Guruji used to say, was the hardest pose of all.
Shavasana， Guruji 曾经说啊，是所有体式当中最难度最大的一个体式。
This particular Shavasana, when you do it at the end of a practice,
那么在这个每一个习练之后呢，去做的这个 Shavasana，
is really, it's a transitional pose.
它实际上是一个转化性的一个体式。
You're not really going deeper.
其实我们并没有在这里边进得更深，
It's like a bridge between
它就好比是
your practice
一座桥，就是你的习练
and your life.
和你的生活之间的一座桥。
So it's just for you, it has no other agenda.
所以呢，对你而言，你也不要给它设太多其他的这种意图。
But nonetheless important.
但无论如何，它是非常重要的。
You can time this. You can always put a timer on. You could do it for 5 minutes, 10
当然，这
minutes.
一部分呢，你也可以总是设个时间，你可以
See what happens in your life if you do Shavasana for 10 minutes every day.
然后你自己去观察一下生活。你如果每天都保证10分钟的 Shavasana， 你的生活会有怎样的变化？
Keep a journal.
然后可以记个记录啊什么的。
Now she's not going to hold it for this. You're going to go away and hold it in your own practice at some
当然
point.
这个老师就不让他在这里边待了很久了。
So
大家自己练习的时候就要保证这个部分的足够的时间。
Take a deep inhalation.
深吸气，
Bend your knees.
吸吸，
Bend your arms. Roll over onto your right side
右侧，
and come up. Press your left hand down, head last. Thank you. Namaste.